But I don't know why we were doing it. I didn't set that up. Suddenly tonight, it's not happening anymore, and I didn't change anything. So
we're just,
So anyway,
the two places.
that's
Just the two places.
Yeah.
Two places.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
He hasn't even had a drink.
Let's actually find.
Here we go. There we are.
Not technically correct, but I haven't had what I would really call it, a mixed drink. That's for sure.
just straight huge. Hi, Abra. How are you?
First out of the gate.
Good to see you. Awesome.
Lovely.
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
All right, good. People are here. It's a party.
Well, I guess it's a party now.
Yeah, so suddenly everything's changed again on our camera. I don't know.
Changes here.
It worked. So
there.
Here we are. I know we always seem like the least savvy people in the world, which is not the case. I mean,
no, it is not the case. We're actually
kind of good at the computer stuff.
And
good. I'm glad you're well.
It might sound from time to time like we're not quite prepared for these things, and you set these things up a week in advance, a day in advance anyway. I was all ready to go. We'll go live at 6:59, 7:59. Bang! We're all set, and we get all this stuff together. It's like I got the ice, we got the lemon curls, we got the juice, and we got everything in back of us. We're all ready to go. And then your actual platform says,
and then the camera,
"Hi, you're signed out."
Or the camera's like, well, no, what it says is you have to have an account to use these features. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I have an account.
Paid for one?
Anyway.
There you go. Big fun.
It's all good now.
Big fun coming through.
Hi, Julie.
And
we were on time. That's the amazing thing.
Well, this is the thing.
Because I was realizing all this at about 7:58.
I understand that.
So,
this is kind
happy
of
Wednesday to you, Julie.
Kind of the definition of first world problems. However, if we don't solve them, then we don't see you. So that is a problem. Yes. I consider it a problem.
Oh.
Errol.
All right. Hi, Errol.
So Errol Monroe, Lisa in Tulsa. Whoa.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, Errol.
Yeah, great stuff coming through.
Mom says you're missing your hat.
Well, I tell you that in the period, that hat was not period correct. We're talking about
1976.
The period that would give you the top 20 drinks.
Hello,
this
Kelly.
Happy couple. So we're trying to ape them.
Aww.
The truth is, I should have
Kelly.
his hair, which means I need to do a more of this. Let me see if I can poof
Say
that
hi
out
to
a
Kelly.
little
Her
bit. Hey, Kelly.
first time watching.
Oh, first time?
Good to see you.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have you as audience.
Yes.
There we go. Let me see if that... there's some more height. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. Either that or like a fedora. I need to do that sort of Annie Hall thing.
We kind of... Well, he was saying that, earlier I should have taken the curling iron and feathered his hair like Sean Cassidy, but it didn't happen.
Didn't have a 2-hour block to make that work. Although I think we have the hairspray power.
Oh yeah, we definitely have the hairspray.
Hairspray power. Oh yeah. You even got the good stuff.
But anyway, this evening we're doing
talk about goals.
The top 20 drinks. This is the top 20 drinks. Happy hour recipes used by famous bars and restaurants. Spoiler alert, a lot of them involve SoCo, because that's who published this
Just
book.
a little volume. Now, we have a number
None
of
of ours actually have SoCo, but it's fun to read from this.
Fun to read. And we have several little guides that look like this. Some of them dating back to the 1964 New York World's Fair, published in conjunction with. And they just kept republishing these for years, and the styles change, and some of the drinks start changing. But their basics are still there. SoCo is telling you SoCo. Yeah, big surprise.
Well, the funny thing, I should have brought glasses.
Big brain trust happening there.
I should have brought glasses.
I can read.
Okay, I'll read a little bit, and then I'm going to hand it to Paul to read the small print.
Yep.
So
a lot of fine print in this.
This guide can help you be the #1 drink mixer in your crowd. It will help you explore the exciting new trends in mixed drinks and discover how easily you can make those you've never you read it.
Well, first of all, where in the world did this come from anyway? Well, it tells you very carefully how to remove it from the remove the staples.
It had advertising.
This was stuck inside an issue of Time or something like that. I'm trying to think of a People magazine, perhaps. So this is...
I started reading over here.
Here we go. So let's go over all you need to know to be a top drink mixer. with a guy here who's a dead ringer for Bert Convy, and a gal who's kind of a dead ringer for Nanette Fabre.
The poor man's Bert Convy.
Poor man's Bert Convy is here with his SoCo. Okay. Discover how easily you can make those you've never tried before. You'll enjoy being the first to serve new in drinks. That's in quotes. I'll air quote that.
Spoiler alert. In drinks had Southern Comfort.
Yeah, that's what makes them in.
Hi, Peter.
It was a real, like, it kind of came into its own in that period, right?
Waikiki Wednesday, I love it.
And be able to mix the classics perfectly every time. Italics. Learn how to make the top 20 drinks. This guide has easy-to-follow recipes for all today's favorites. Oh, it does. You see, throw away your Mr. Boston. Oh, the Playboy Bar Guide and the Dumper. All you need is this thin pamphlet, and all of your guests will go, how did you learn to make such tasty drinks? I got my little secret right over here.
Oh, he pulled it out. I didn't even pull out the SoCo.
I figure if we have a bottle of SoCo, we have to feature it on the bar.
I know.
Even if nothing else happens.
We do.
Anyway, including the top 20 best sellers in bars and restaurants. Now, how do they gauge that? Maybe they surveyed, and maybe they just made it up. We've taken a look at the top 20. We can read some of those off. And I think you'll find out that in that period of time, this is mid-70s, they're probably pretty close to what was being ordered at the time. It shows you how to mix great drinks made with all the basic liquors. Are you ready? This is what you need at your home bar. Bourbon, scotch, rum, tequila, vodka, gin, SoCo.
and nothing else.
And SoCo is like a major drink category right next to bourbon or rum, you know? You'll even be able to improve your favorite drinks, italics. Well, you know what? We're going to tell you how to improve them in a minute. First of all, I'm going to note that, once again, this couple on the cover is wearing fabrics that have not touched a natural fiber ever, which is why we're actually encased in unnatural fibers.
We both have our
right
polyester
now.
on, too. So,
that's kind of a classic.
But the funny thing I wanted to read, which I don't know, maybe I can, was, and this is going to be my first drink, they have ordinary Manhattan.
Ordinary Manhattan.
And then improved Manhattan.
How do you improve the Manhattan?
You substitute Southern Comfort for the
bourbon.
For the bourbon.
Oh, well, is that what you do?
No, that's not an improvement. But, what was it? Okay. Hold on. Now I can't find what I wanted to read.
Oh. Do you know what you're trying to read there? Perhaps I can pick this up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the italics there.
Okay.
So this is under the Manhattan recipe, which... Hi, Lisa. Good to see you.
Hello.
Aww.
So here's
glad to see you.
Here's what the old SoCo guy has to tell you about, you know, your garden variety plain vanilla Manhattan. If you want to order such a drink, you know, this takes a jigger of bourbon or rye. Actually, originally a rye drink, probably because that's what was available. But then bourbon became much more popular, and now it's frequently a bourbon drink. I happen to really like it with bourbon, but if you have a really good rye...
I forgot to get out a chair.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Let me get a chair.
I'll vamp. I'll ramble.
Please vamp.
Okay, jigger of bourbon or rye, that's 1.5 ounces. Half ounce of sweet vermouth, dash of Angostura bitters, and optional. No, that's not optional. Put in the bitters. That is what makes it a cocktail. Otherwise, you're just drinking booze, you know? So, stir with cracked ice and strain into glass. Add a cherry. Now, you can enjoy that. Or, learn the expert secret. Use the recipe at right. You'll see how a simple switch in basic liquor improves this famous drink tremendously.
Improves it tremendously.
The improved Manhattan involves what is the only difference. You switch out the bourbon for SoCo. And that's it. I will tell you one thing for sure that does. It sweetens up the drink, and if you're kind of like, oh, I don't really like the taste of liquor, it'll go down smoother. Probably faster. That's not necessarily better.
Okay.
You might want to actually taste that booze while you're having it. But that's the improvement. I
thought that was hilarious.
Any of the whiskey drinks in this fine little bar guide, within the top 20, can be improved by using SoCo, which is funny stuff. Now, here's the thing. SoCo is not a one-for-one for your bourbon, because it's more of a liqueur. It's been sweetened, and there's some fruit flavors. I happen to like this stuff. I happen to like it over a big cube of ice, and it's a good base for a drink, and we'll demonstrate that a little later.
Errol, Lisa says, love you, honey. Errol is watching on YouTube. Yes. He said hi.
Yes.
So I love that this is all happening.
Dual platforms.
Yay. Yay. All right, so.
Hot stuff. Anyway, that's the big rap about these things. We have a bunch of these little things. Some of them are slightly older, and it's just like, styles of 1970, and it's definitely the Playboy Man. And some of them are definitely 1976, hilarious. And it's all disco.
Hilarious.
Which is great. And what are the disco drinks? The same drinks. As a matter of fact, if you watch the movie Saturday Night Fever, what's the favorite drink? What is Tony's drink? 7 and 7. Which I'm not sure it's even in here, but I'm sure they have something pretty close.
No, because they're not going to use anything that would advertise something
somebody else's liquor. Of course not. By now, Soko is probably in the same liquor family. Who actually is hawking it these days?
By the way, I don't hate Southern Comfort. So if you're a Southern Comfort fan, Albert says I was 12 in 1976.
Well, there we go.
What was I?
Yep. Pretty close. 11?
It was 9.
9. Yeah.
9.
Yep. 9 it is.
Now you know how old I am.
You see, well, we're all in the same category then. This is produced by Sazerac Company, New Orleans, which produces Sazerac Rye, which is an excellent rye. And I'm trying to think, is that part of a larger group?
Which who is it?
It's not made by Pernod Ricard. It says
Brown
Sazerac.
Forman?
Not Brown Forman.
Oh,
okay, maybe it's not a really, really big one. Okay. Well, there we go. Boom.
Anywho.
So, I rambled too much. Let's actually make a little something, shall we? Yeah.
I love it. So, sorry, I just got drawn into something on the computer.
Suddenly, I was compelled by the screen.
Yeah, like a spiral on the computer. Anyway,
in the meantime,
I'm going to make their recipe for a Manhattan and see what I think. Ordinarily, I would use more bourbon in my Manhattan, but
can
you get a shaker, please?
I would be glad to do that.
Already?
Do you have the 1.5 jig, or no?
No.
All right, shaker it is. We'll get you one with some correct lines on it. That'll do.
Perfect. Awesome.
I'm gonna
So,
go grab that jig.
they have you starting with 1.5 ounces of bourbon if you want to make the crappy non-SoCo Manhattan. And a 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth. I bought more bourbon because this was almost empty, but it looks like it keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving up. I like the bottle that keeps on giving. Yeah.
We have another bottle of sweet vermouth too.
We know full well that eventually they all give up.
1/2 ounce sweet vermouth.
$1976, when pro wrestling was fun. Yeah, it kind of became serious business after that, didn't it?
And a dash of, I think we're out of the Angostura, aren't we?
No, we still have
We have a little bit.
still
Okay,
a
I
dash.
got off the. It calls for Angostura, so I'll use Angostura.
The Hella Aromatic is a fine sub.
Oh yeah.
If you don't happen to have
I thought we were out of this.
If you would like to try the Hella Angostura, I recommend it.
That wasn't
Good
much
product.
of a dash, but
And maybe we're kind of almost totally out of.
we are.
Mm.
Anyway.
Well, anyhow.
Fortunately, we can get that at the supermarket. And yes, I'm touching my eyes.
Yeah.
1976 makes me remember the bicentennial. Remember? Yeah, bicentennial for sure. Actually, one of these books, one of these SoCo books has a bicentennial theme.
Yes. And it is all about Spirit of 76 with lots of eagles and vintage flags and stuff.
Yep.
And it's, back when that sort of thing was fun.
It's still kind of fun.
It's still kind of fun.
Well, I mean the 76 stuff. I don't mean the political stuff. I mean the bicentennial stuff. To be clear.
The colonial stuff.
To be clear.
And the flags and the
political
uniforms.
Stuff's not fun at all.
Stuff like that there.
Okay.
All right, maybe that's enough.
That's enough shaking.
Would you like a chilled glass?
Yes, please.
Maybe we'll make that ordinary cocktail taste 73% better. Could have made it taste 100% better by adding SoCo.
Okay. Drink. Hello, we're all sharing our ages tonight.
We did not ask, but if you are willing to share, this is actually a small group. So, I do recall back to the...
It fits this glass perfectly.
Oh, I guess this is the 1.5 base glass. You remember, if anybody who's around New York, there back in the 80s, one of the channels was running the New York Minute, and they would give you a little bit of New York history.
And they don't say to do this, but garnish a
Yeah,
Manhattan
garnish
with
with
a cherry.
Garnish a Manhattan with a cherry.
Let's see what we think.
Or a twist. And you can always make that with dry vermouth to make a dry Manhattan. Or the way I really like to make it, half and half dry and sweet for the perfect Manhattan.
Hi, Satellite. Good to see you.
First cocktail indeed.
Yeah, you did get here for the first cocktail.
I'm going to try that. I happen to enjoy Manhattan. This was
Yeah, me too.
my
I'm enjoying one right now.
drink. I think he just liked whiskey. And this is basically mostly whiskey. It's certainly all booze. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it is really good, isn't it?
The ordinary
Wow.
plebeian Manhattan is quite nice. Of course, you used a high quality bourbon, a very high quality
All right, we can get rid of
vermouth,
this.
which is the Antica formula, Carpano, and you use some really good bitters. So, heck, how can you go wrong, right?
How can you go wrong,
How
right?
can you go wrong, right? Right?
Oh, yeah, Lisa and Errol. Yay, I love that you're both here.
I'll give you my big hot tip about such a drink. Remember, again, it's
Hot
all
tip.
liquor. So if you're like, I had to buy the cheaper liquor, it'll show. A lot of times if you go to a bar and you say to yourself, well, I'd like that with rye. A lot of bars in the States these days still think that rye means Canadian. So they'll just grab a bottle of Canadian Club or something and mix with that. It's a blended whiskey.
Well,
It's a little lighter. And
Oh.
you're missing flavor notes.
Albert says Manhattan was my mom's signature drink.
Hey,
I love it.
hot stuff.
I love it.
Good thing. It's one of those things that used to be really, really super popular, like that and the martini were like number one, number two punch, pow pow, and they were also considered to be fairly sweet. And then you get to the 70s, and it's like a lot of screwdrivers and tequila sunrise, and the drinks get super sweet, and it's just like, well, that seems like a lot less cloying than all that.
Top 20 Drinks has this as the number 2
Number
drink. Martini is number 1,
Number
right?
one, still the king.
I can't.
Still the king
I
of
should have brought a pair of
cocktails.
glasses. That was
Even that period,
okay. But do you want to make one?
I would be very glad to make something.
I wrote down for you
Let's see.
the Rob Roy.
I would be very glad to make that. Guess what? We're actually going to vary up the base by varying up the drink by varying up the base.
What number do they have over
And-
Rob Roy?
Rob Roy comes.
I'm blind as a bat tonight.
Yes, you're blind as a bat, and I have sight. I'm actually looking like this underneath my glasses. That's still fuzzy to me. 18. Number 18. So that's pretty low on the list, but still, that's the top 20.
We're a great pair
It
tonight.
was a drink that people ordered at the time. There's a few ways to make this, and let's make it well, shall we? Grabbing a shaker.
Well, I wrote down the
Yeah.
recipe I wrote down is exactly the same recipe as for the Manhattan, but with scotch. I forgot to grab scotch. That's what I forgot. Scotch
well, we have to have some
instead
scotch.
of the bourbon.
Well, funny thing is, I've got this shaker here, which has all the recipes.
Oh, Michael digs
can
this
just look here.
shirt. Hi, Michael. Good to see you.
Yeah, I don't wear this too much, but when we decide to delve into a bar guide that looks like
He
this,
doesn't have a lot of occasions to wear
I
it.
think, okay, that's got to come out. One thing is, if we don't have the AC on in here, this starts to get awfully warm awfully quickly because no ventilation, man-made fibers.
Okay.
The upside of that, however, is didn't you darn it. You know how it is.
Where do we put
So,
the scotch?
Scotch, do we have an open scotch? I don't know that we
Yeah,
do.
we do.
We do?
Yeah.
We got some single malt, but that's not a mixer. We did kill that bottle. We got some Johnny Walker in the top there. That'll work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's improve your cocktail by using a really high quality scotch. So the Rob Roy.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Rob Roy sounds like somebody said, I want a Manhattan with scotch, and the bartender whipped it up, and it's like, oh, well, scotch, Rob Roy, boom. But this was actually a very specific drink that was linked to a play. I think it's circa like 1902 or something. There's one of these books we have about cocktail history that talks about that was the Rob Roy. Well, they didn't do too much to make this cocktail.
To a play?
There was a play called Rob Roy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unsurprisingly, called Rob Roy. And what did they do? They took an existing cocktail, which was becoming awfully popular, the Manhattan, and they switched to the base liquor. Whoopee. Well, it switches up the drink. Let's make that happen, folks.
Now, do you have your mixer, your measure?
I did actually bring the jig.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because that glass doesn't have measuring lines.
Doesn't have the measuring lines. So that's why you can use this
Oh,
little
yeah.
guy.
Peter says, Scotch would play well with cocktails. I always thought Scotch was best on its own. I wouldn't necessarily go using it in just any cocktail. I'll put it that way.
To my mind, I always make the distinction here that Scotch is to bourbon and other whiskeys as mezcal is to tequila. Mezcal tends not to play well with others. But remember, this is a blend of several Scotches. Mm-hmm. And it smooths out a lot of the distinction, a lot of like the really idiosyncratic notes of Scotch. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about what's called single malt Scotch.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily mix. I wouldn't exactly mix with a single malt Scotch.
Does not play well.
To say. Yeah.
First of all, it's much higher proof. They tend to be somewhere around 95 to 115 kind of thing. You got to dilute that. You really want to just pour that over a big cube of ice, let it melt in a little, let it get closer to about 86 proof.
Jenny Lynn says Rusty Nail is my favorite. I bet that's in this book.
I bet it is. And a Bulge Drambuie, which we have.
If I could actually see, I would check. Where did it go? Oh.
That's right here. I'm taking it out of harm's way. Let me mix a drink, shall I?
I can see the large print.
We happen to have a fresh bottle of Johnny Walker Black. I'm going to call that a really fine thing to mix with. In fact, I'm even going to give that a sample. I haven't had Johnny Walker Black in a while.
I saw that in here.
Definite smoky Scotch flavor. Very smooth. Nice blend. So we're going to start with a jigger of that. And how much vermouth am I supposed to add to said cocktail?
I don't see it in here, which is weird. I'm surprised it's not in here.
You would think that's like a totally on the level 70s drink. Maybe they just had the editorial restraints, constrictions.
Oh boy, I see some we can try later if we if we need suggestions.
Are suitably inspired.
Oh, some of these are bad.
Oh boy.
Some of these
Top 20.
Bad.
So, shot of Scotch, half ounce of sweet vermouth. That's a fairly standard formula for a Manhattan, for this type of drink. Even like a martini, with like 1.5 ounces of your gin, half ounce of the dry vermouth. A lot of people like that a lot drier. And you could certainly change that up. You could use more vermouth if you like, but half ounce is as high as we go.
Earl says, when I was young, I thought a Rob Roy was an Old West cowboy. Figured it out, though.
Yeah. No, that was Rob Rogers.
Rob Rogers.
Different guy. Sells roast beef sandwiches these days. There we go.
Rob Rogers.
Rob Rogers. Okay, this involves some bitters. Do we still have them? Yes.
Yes. A dash of aromatic bitters.
Aromatic bitters.
I want to know who Rob Rogers is.
I think I've killed the bitters. There we go.
See? Well, that's why I brought the other ones over.
I knew they were down. You were at the supermarket. I should have had you get more.
I forgot.
Yeah, well, I forgot. So,
we'll go back
that's that for that. Give it a shake. Now, I have had this drink a number of times. We usually do keep a decent blended Scotch around. I tend to like these better dry, but I'm going by formula. And the only way to actually put these two head to head is to make a sweet Rob Roy. I think the original formula was using sweet vermouth.
Well,
somewhere along the line, dry vermouth became very popular with the mixed drinks, and that may be somewhere in the 1920s. Let's see. There we go. Again, with the cocktail glass.
I feel like you should have worn polyester pants.
I should have.
Oh, and it calls for a twist.
I happen to have a twist right here.
I'd hate to go off formula.
Oh, no. The twist improves this because...
the cocktail police might show up.
Because here you are, you got your bitters in there, you got that note happening, and just a little bit of that citrus on top. You got to express a little oil, as they say. Boom, boom, boom. And I've actually twisted the twist, and it's still twisted. We're going to try that out.
Twisted the twist, and it's still twisted.
Try that a few times fast. I like that a lot.
Let me see.
Better than I thought.
Have I actually tried the Johnny Walker Black?
Really?
Didn't you just open that bottle?
I did just open it.
You would have to have a tasting.
So literally, you have not tried that Johnny Walker Black.
I like that.
That's a good thing.
I don't think I've had plaid polyester pants. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I have a pair of light blue.
Plan that well.
Light blue that is 100% man-made materials that I really should have scared up. I'm not entirely sure where they are right now.
I was going to say, go change.
Go change. I can do it. I can do it.
Go change right now.
Oh, Yes, but that's the thing.
Oh, the chafing. We suffer for this.
This sweat in very unfortunate places, I gotta tell you. But just look at that lack of ironing. Well, this is quite nice and quite pleasant. And I would order that at a bar, and any bar in the States right now ought to be able to make that up really well, particularly if you specify brand. Because you can use some really cheap blended scotch that kind of dilutes the character of it, or you can use a really nice blended scotch. And this is 100% scotches in the blend. Just like I always recommend with a blended whiskey, make sure it's all whiskey. Nothing wrong with that.
I've ever tried Johnny Walker Black.
Well, it's about time.
I have tried other Johnny Walker products.
Because normally the term blended means that it's blended with neutral spirits. That's just a way of like cutting it down and making it more affordable to the manufacturer. I think, yeah, that was popular for a long time for a very specific reason, but we are no longer under those conditions.
I was so much chafing in the 70s. Michael was 7. Yep. Remember that year? I remember that year too.
You know what I remember specifically from that period was that if you bought a pop can, of course, they were steel cans, so they were really heavy duty. And of course, you pulled it, and you had the tab in your hand.
Good.
The pop top. And of course, what did people do with those? They threw them away on the ground. There was a lot of litter. But there were those who used to take the pop tops and form chains out of them. And you can make belts, and you can make headdresses and stuff. And this was just this peculiarity with garbage at the time, which during a period where people had to suddenly think about natural resources became a thing. And a guy actually wrote a book. If you give me a second, I can go find the book.
I know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Is it just up the stairs? I think I just saw it.
Is it upstairs? I thought look in the shelf before you go upstairs.
We'll take a look. We'll be right back.
Okay, this is good. Okay,
yeah,
for
this
70,
is good.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Peter, I feel like we need to make a drink called the Chafing Trauma. Oh, I feel like Chafing Trauma should have Galliano though. We ran out of Galliano. What else do we have? Chafing Trauma. So many possibilities. Thinking. What would you put in Chafing Trauma? I said it has to have Galliano, which didn't we run out of Galliano?
We ran out of Galliano. I'm sorry. We can't make. If you really want that wall banger, I can't do it. Oh well. So, yeah. So with all of these people doing various and sundry things with that waste product pop top, one dude decided to actually make a whole industry out of it, and here it is: pop topping. It, among other things, helps you to help keep Mother Earth clean. And look, check out that vest on the kid, and check out that haircut on the kid. Check out that polyester on the kid. All of this is pretty unfortunate. Here's a plant hanger made out of pop tops. Here is this.
Oh my God!
Vest of chainmail. Look at this. This is this long dress. This is like
that's like a floor length.
This is like about 700 cans of Diet Pepsi. I got to tell you.
And they have the pattern for it.
And here's how they make it. This is literally chainmail. It's insane. You know?
Oh no! You gotta show that.
Here's the doggy. Here's what to encase your dachshund in.
Dog coat.
Your dachshund will never forgive you. Will eat you in your sleep.
Oh.
There's all sorts of fun stuff in here. It's all sorts of patterns.
We need to
different colored pop-top chains go with striped effect.
Can you buy pop-top? I mean, you can't just get them off of cans anymore. I'm wondering how you could get your hands on some pop-tops.
In the 1980s, I remember finding this book, College Years, right? Just dated myself again. And I was just like, wow. And then I lost it. So she found me a copy of it again. So here's the second edition I got. And then I spent a semester in the UK, and they still had Pop-Tops. So I saved as many as I could, and I still have a chain somewhere. Just because. I couldn't make that whole chainmail thing. But I can make a belt.
The hat.
Yeah, the hat.
There's like the hat and the matching scarf on the cover.
And there's the dude who's wearing that vest with like the porn stash.
I don't know if you can see.
Doing his best Doug Henning.
But the author's name is Pop Top Terp.
His legal name, folks. It's Terp.
Pop Top Terp.
I believe when you actually see a picture of Terp, he looks for the world like Sun Ra. It's literally.
Is this Pop Top?
That's Terp.
Oh, okay.
Good grief.
Pop
It's
top.
like he's ready to raise the pyramids at Giza with the orchestra. I really enjoyed the music of Sun Ra. So
okay,
that's considered a
let's
compliment.
see what else you can make with
Yeah.
Pop Tops. Oh, a headband. That sounds really painful.
Yeah, you better watch those sharp edges.
Stylish purse.
Stylish purse.
She's got there.
You know, which is totally resistant to people trying to cut your purse off of you.
Yeah, just
you know?
try
that on the subway.
grabbing that
suckers.
person's purse.
Ow! I cut my hand. Oh, you did. Sorry.
Oh no,
Not
this
sorry.
couple. Oh.
Mm.
They look like rejects from the background of Excalibur.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. Excalibur, you know. Sword in
Oh yeah, the
Stone.
King Kong remake. Hi Jennifer, good to see you.
I was just reading that. We subscribe to the current Mad
No.
magazine, which is doing a lot of reprints, and they had their parody of King Kong 1976, which is quite good.
These are the best.
It was Dino
people's
De
outfits.
Laurentiis wanted to make his big ape movie, and of course they featured the Twin Towers. Now, of course, it's not quite gone, and a lot of hammy action, as I recall. I think I recall this was the first big break for Jessica Lange,
Yeah.
and it's just not that kind of picture. And after that, she said, "I gotta get serious," and she just like really buckled down and started taking really hardcore roles. And people were like, "Oh, you can act." I'm like, "Well, I was trying to tell you that in the first place, right?" So
Dazzling decor for your pet. Oh my gosh, look at her. She's got a boa. She's got a feather boa over her pop top.
over a pop top chainmail. Hello.
Her pop top accents, I guess you'd have to say. Jessica Lange was so hot.
I believe this guy was actually a member of Sly and the Family Stone. Oh no, he just looks like it.
Oh my gosh.
Totally aping that look.
The dog is the best.
The funny thing is, well, not the funny thing, but the absolute
Oh, the
truth
child.
and the unfortunate truth of this is that you would love to do all of this, but you cannot get the raw material anymore. The pop top is made out.
So this chapter is called Kicky Vests and Kinky Beach Togs. But you've got this little
You got
child,
this child
with
for
his
kinky
vest.
togs. It's kicky. Oh boy, I need a drink.
Wouldn't you have loved to have worn a vest made out of pop tops to school? How would that have gone?
I think your fellow children, circa say 5th grade, would have gone, whoa, you know.
Errol says, "Didn't Jimmy Buffett step on a pop top?"
I think you're right. Isn't that in Cheeseburger Paradise?
Yeah. Here's another dog.
What is it with encasing the dogs in pop tops? You know, or any sort of
Because-
chainmail substitute.
For the whole family. Oh my gosh, this hat.
That hat is definitely screaming Donna Summer. Although she would not
That
be
hat
okay with that
is. Yes, it said kinky. Kinky beach togs
hat. Kinky beach dogs and Kiki.
and kicky vests. Oh my god, this hat.
Another hat. What's with the hats?
No, look at the. Did you see the hat?
They don't look comfortable. Oh, mine a half. Jingly Jester's cap.
Oh my gosh.
This gal is like, I am being forced to pose in this right now. I'm just telling you.
She looks like she's like trying to signal the mothership.
There's a lot of skull caps happening in here. That's pretty easy to get fashion out of the pop tops, but what? You know, I mean, seriously.
Trying to signal the mothership.
Now, of course, there is still a popper on cans, but it's fastened, so you can't pop it off. Clearly, you can pop that off itself and do things with it, but it's not as much fun. And there's also a rumor that you can actually send those in and like get money donated to your high school. I'm thinking about that whole idea of like taking the smallest part of the aluminum can and trying to get money out of Alcoa
pop
for your
tops
high
for
school.
education.
Why don't you just send the whole damn can? In New York State, you get a nickel each can. Just recycle the thing, get the
Oh my
deposit.
gosh.
Durr.
I forgot how much I love this book.
I've heard people
Oh, look,
literally tell me,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
decorate
do
your
that.
boots.
You know, that's silly.
You can decorate your boots. Yeah, tinfoil hat, exactly.
It is the 70s tinfoil hat.
No, that is pop
The
top.
blessing and made 150,000 pop tops.
my God.
There's literally a picture of Sun Ra on the cover of one of his albums that looks exactly like that. And he's not in pop tops, but
and
he's in something very
he
similar.
taught pop top workshops. Pop top workshop.
Take it from Chirp. This book published in 1975 by Chirp. First edition, no doubt.
First edition.
Not entirely
There
sure
were
there was a
editions.
second, but you know, there's a few of these out there.
There were editions.
If you'd like your own copy of this, check your local used bookstore or just go online. Can't be too hard to find. It's highly entertaining, even if you can't do any of this anymore. If you want to do something vintage, I suggest you're repairing old radios. You can still find vacuum tubes. So, boom. That's our secondary entertainment for the night after, of course, our primary entertainment, the top 20 drinks. We're going to make them all and drink them tonight, and you'll see us on the floor in 10 minutes.
We're not going to make them all.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. But we want to make some significant drinks here. We actually chose some things that were pretty on target, I think.
Lisa, I had a poncho that my great-grandmother crocheted for me. I wish I had it now in my current size.
In your collection.
That would be awesome.
You know? You wish you could conjure up your great-grandmother and say, could you make me one in this size?
I know.
Well, I'll see what I can do, you know? Of course you could do that.
I do.
My grandmother crocheted. Yeah, and the other thing that reminds me of, speaking of pop-tops, crochet, what does that possibly make you think of?
The beer can hats?
The beer can hats.
Oh, yeah.
The crocheted hats, which had little sections of aluminum cut from the beer cans. We found one of those recently
at Sweet Lorraine.
Sweet Lorraine in Cleveland, and I didn't purchase it. Was that an oversight?
I kind of think it was.
I could go back, you know. They're out there. And you can still do those. You could find some actual vintage type brands like, you know, Valentine still comes in cans, Genesee Cream Ale, that kind of stuff. Old Milwaukee, I believe you can get. And you just cut out a panel of that and crochet into that, and bang, there you are in 1977.
Now I want a poncho. And it occurs to me that I could definitely crochet myself a poncho, but I need someone to show me how to crochet. I can knit, but not very well. But I've only ever been able to teach myself how to crochet one row. And then after one row, I can't figure out how to join it to a second row. So if someone can show me how to crochet, I'll make it worth your while. Oh yeah, the beer can hats. He should have bought it. It was primo. That was the beer.
Well, and we happen to know a gentleman who goes by the name Primo, so I kind of think that would have been a great gift idea. Although I believe he has a crochet hat with Primo cans.
He does, but I mean,
so he doesn't need another one. But it was that
maybe you can never have too many.
Can you ever have too many of your signature item? Question to ponder there, folks. In the meantime, I'm really glad after all that discussion of some truly hideous crafts to have a drink in my hand. And this is a vintage drink. This certainly would have been on target. You'll see bits of video.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really chugged that down, didn't you?
Well, it's tasty after all. You will certainly see these in vintage video from the period, like guy in his double-breasted jacket says up to the bar, I'll have a Rob Roy, you know? I'll have a dry Manhattan. That kind of stuff, you know? Clubby guys would have had a drink like this. At the time, it was already becoming very square. And then that stuff really went on the wane for a while. And then about 20 years ago or so, all that cocktail stuff kind of came back. People like Dale DeGroff really started pushing quality drinks. It's like a Rob Roy could be a pretty junky drink with pretty cheap ingredients, or it could be a really excellent drink with very good ingredients. And that's what he was demonstrating. And here we go.
Well, I just remember watching American Drinks. They were talking about how the martini fell out of favor, and they're like, it was what your dad drank.
And they go further and say, Nixon drank them, you know. He did, too. He used to sell it off.
Good night, Errol.
He would actually like skip out of the Oval Office and go walkabout and end up at Trader Vic's. And he would probably be like, I'll take a fog cutter, please, you know. Got to cut the fog of all these salt talks. That kind of stuff. Well, yeah, good. Good thing for old Dick.
Oh, Lisa got her mom to crochet a poncho in her current size. Oh, nice. Aww.
Oh, yeah, well, I hear that. Oh,
that's
awesome.
So nice that you have that, though.
Well,
that's
it
wonderful.
It's marvelous.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, I'm out. You're about to be out.
How about, I wrote a couple down. How do you feel about...
Do we actually have Bacardi rum?
No.
Can't do it.
Not.
We can't make a Bacardi. Sorry. We can make an imitation of it.
All right, do it.
We could make an imitation of that. And we do happen to have all
we
those
need
things.
grenadine. I even got out some teaspoons.
Okay, yeah, We can definitely do this. So here we're going to confess that we do not have the appropriate ingredient as
I could have
required by
bought it,
law.
but I.
No, you know. You
This
don't have
is
to drive
number
yourself insane.
11
11.
of the top 20 drinks of
In your lineup?
1976, as told to us by Southern Comfort. The Bacardi,
Which is interesting
which
because
we're making with Don Q.
never heard anybody ask for a Bacardi. I think in the 1940s that would have been a very popular request. It was a very popular cocktail. It itself probably dates back to the teens of the prior century. It's a very old thing. Bacardi was one of your quality products in that period of time among a lot of really terrible rum. I think it really defined good, clear rum at the time. And they decided to come up with a really simple sour that has a little bit of difference to it and serve it up. And then, of course, all of these bars start serving the cocktail. Well, Bacardi called it a Bacardi. They wanted you to use Bacardi, right? A lot of bars start serving this up with whatever rum they got on hand, and Bacardi's like, So it decided to come up with a lawsuit and say, look, you're going to make a Bacardi cocktail. It has to contain Bacardi. Well, we don't happen to have Bacardi right now. So I'm going to say this
We're
is
making
the
a fake Bacardi.
inauthentic Bacardi cocktail.
Bacardi. Peter says, I always appreciate a double mezcal on the rocks. Well, you always have one here, Peter.
Absolutely. We got some pretty nice mezcal right now that you would like. So, that was a vermouth. Probably.
Probably.
So, bust that out of here. Find me a
Hi,
shaker.
Elizabeth. Good to see you. So, Paul's about to make us a fake Bacardi.
Inauthentic.
I should put Bacardi on the recipe sheet, though.
Yeah. In this case, Bacardi in paren. We're subbing. What we got was what we just had recently, the Don Q. I happen to like Don Q Crystal a lot.
Recently, like today.
Like today. For such a cocktail. What do I mean by such a cocktail? Any of your really basic sours, like your daiquiri. Your daiquiri, you need a good light rum. It has to be like real clean flavor. If it has some flavor notes, all the better. And this actually does have some, which is nice. So this is, once again, 1.5 ounces of your light rum.
A lot of 1.5 ounce drinks in this book.
I think that was considered your standard pour at the time. 1.5 ounces is a jigger. 2 ounces, which is kind of our standard pour these days, is a gill.
A gill.
We're talking some pretty ancient measurements here. English measurements from your what? What else goes into this thingy?
Juice of 1/2 lime.
I'm going to call that 1/2 ounce. I didn't juice limes, but I juiced lemons, and that's what I'm going to use. Could you procure for me the 1/2 ounce shot?
Here.
Thank you.
Yes. Is that this?
That's this guy. I believe that's
What?
1/2
Sticky.
3/4. A little sticky.
It's sticky.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow, I thought I cleaned that well. Well, you find out different things along the way. So I guess we're going off book a couple of different ways here. It all tastes the same. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. We happen to have sugar syrup because it's a lot easier to mix with.
And I
Yep.
assume you'd like a
I wouldn't
spoon.
mind having a teaspoon.
Keep it. You need it for the grenadine, too.
Oh, I do too. Now, this is usually called a bar spoon because it's nice and tall. It can fit in one of these guys. But its measure is a teaspoon worth, so we will carefully pour out 1/2 of that.
Yep.
If you're saying to yourself, could you simply use sugar? Yes.
Yes, you could.
Yes, you could.
I recommend powdered sugar.
The powdered will mix a lot faster in your drink if all you have is granulated. Put it in with a little water and give it some agitation to melt it down.
Oh my gosh, Lisa says my brother
That's
had
it.
a pair of sandals that were made out of tires, and the
Oh,
soles
yeah.
with the tread of the sandal.
Oh, yeah. Ugly, yes. Yeah, like Berkeys, you know? Like a really rudimentary Berkeys. But recycling, that was the thing at the time.
Elizabeth says, had a fabulous mezcal and rum cocktail. Peter, you would like this.
Hello.
Fabulous mezcal and rum cocktail called Luck Be a Lady at Bootlegger Tiki in Palm Springs over the weekend.
Hello.
Yum.
Oh, I don't think Bootlegger was there when
No,
we
it
were
wasn't
in
there
Palm
when we were in
Springs
Palm
last.
Springs. So
That
clearly we
begs
need a return trip.
A return trip now, doesn't it?
Yes.
But it's been some time since we were there.
Oh yeah, I had a pair of Earth
Earth
shoes.
I think they're the kind of definition of not pretty shoes, but so comfortable. That's the kicker right there. It's like Berkeys. Now, how much of the grenadine goes in here?
A teaspoon.
1 teaspoon. Still.
Yes.
I'm really questioning why you need more sweet on top of what's in the grenadine, particularly if we're using commercial grenadine, which tends to be pretty sweet. But who am I to know?
It's the recipe.
That's what it's called for.
It's just what it says.
And that's all that anybody said to anybody or anything?
You know the rest. Oh yeah, Abra had a pair too.
Let's do that drill.
Right. Mine had these like wavy soles. I was so happy to get those.
Shake with ice. And this is not that high volume, so we're going to find sort of a moderate-sized cocktail glass, like I happen to have right here.
Oh, a pair! I always wanted a pair of clogs.
Yep, that'll do the job. And
I loved them.
No, that won't. Next.
Is it filthy?
That one was not cleaned well. Here I'm admitting to the simple fact that some of these glasses could have been cleaned better. So
they might have gotten dripped on.
Yeah, that's always possible.
Oh, I love.
Always possible.
I never
Fizzy
had
bar.
the clogs.
Fizzy bar back here. And sprayed into your cocktail glass. Does this actually call for any kind of a garnish?
It did not in that recipe. But by all means, give yourself a lemon twist.
I'm going to do about 3 things right here, right now. First, try this. That's very nice straight up. It's very daiquiri-esque because it's a daiquiri to which you've added grenadine. That's it.
Yep, I like that.
Straight up quite good. Number 2.
Gauchos.
Oh.
I love this conversation.
Oh boy, we're really going. Could macrame be far behind?
Oh, Elizabeth says, happy belated birthday, Paul.
Oh.
Aww.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's only been some days since. Still feeling good, gotta tell you. Been using some of the birthday presents already. Asked for some grill stuff and it's been deployed. Commercial grenadine is a lot redder than what we got here. This is like this sort of a pale peach. So this is not exactly the color that Bacardi intended on this. If I'm going to do any nod to Bacardi right now, I didn't use their rum, I didn't use lime juice. I'm going to get this redder. Could you procure for me the cranberry bitters?
Yes.
Now that won't harm this whatsoever. It's going to add a minor amount of bitter flavor, but it's going to add a lot of color. There we go. Put that in there.
That's always a good thing to do at Halloween because it looks lovely.
Yeah, it actually, if at Halloween, put it in and let it ride. And suddenly you've got this sort of smear happening going, whoa, you know. But I will stir that up. And now suddenly, you get a nice pink cocktail. And the last thing I'll do is take the advice and throw a curl in there because why not? We've got some ones that are a little smaller in here. Yeah, that'll be perfect. It's a small glass. I just need a little bit of a twist and just a little bit
I'll use one for my next drink.
Oil on the surface there. Just adds a tiny bit of citrus flavor to round it out. Ooh, nice. I'll call that the improved Bacardi.
No, see, Southern Comfort would call it improved if you use Southern Comfort instead of rum.
They might. They might just.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it's a really
the
nice
bitter
cocktail.
helps it.
The bitter doesn't harm that at all. I didn't add a ton of that. It's not like a half ounce of bitter material. I don't think an old-fashioned type of bitters is really called for there, but something a little fruitier like this, which has sort of like a tannic note to it, I think works very well with this style of cocktail. So, can we help you?
That's what happens when I go for my own cocktail shaker.
I would have been glad to retrieve it for you.
Get myself into awkward positions. Awkward Positions is also a good cocktail name.
So far we've named 2 new cocktails.
Chafing Trauma and Awkward Positions.
I'm thinking of that chafing at the time. And a lot of that...
I gotta write these down. Hold on.
I think a lot of that...
Awkward Positions.
...really kind of dates from the practice of much tighter clothing on people. Notice how this shirt fits me a lot tighter than most of my Aloha shirts. I tend to wear a large in an Aloha, or perhaps even an XL. A lot of vintage XLs are much more like a medium. And I find that the breathing room is good. Also, an Aloha shirt you wear outside of the pants. And I have to have something that will actually fit over my phone, which I wear on my belt loop. There's big full disclosure there. This tucks in, so it could actually be tighter. So, and it is, you know. Some of them are really form-fitting.
I gotta write down chafing trauma.
And in pants in that period, it was very popular for these to be just skin tight. You just remember the designer jeans on people who basically had to be poured into them. It's just kind of crazy. There was a certain like aesthetic to it. There was a lot of like overt sexuality going on within that period.
Overt sexuality. That's another good drink.
There we go. Their drink name of the night. Boom. But I will say that like the tight pants, it gets really uncomfortable after a while. You know.
Okay. All right. I believe we have caught up. All right. In the top 20 drinks, let's not forget that that's what started this whole thing.
Started this whole riot. I was inspired recently when I pulled this off the shelf and said,
They have what they're called. Okay, the number 3 drink, ordinary sour.
The ordinary sour. Boring.
And then there's the smoother sour, which, spoiler alert, substitutes Southern Comfort for your whiskey. I'm going to make me an ordinary sour.
Going ordinary tonight, aren't you?
Going ordinary. So, 1.5 ounces of your bourbon. I wouldn't have bought new bourbon today if I hadn't thought we'd use this all up.
Yeah, well, you're going to get very close to doing so.
I know.
Don't you know?
Well, maybe we will kick it tonight.
You're looking at about half an ounce there.
Oh.
Gee.
Yeah.
You need to have another drinks party and get rid of this stuff.
I know. All right. 1.5 ounces of your whiskey of choice. I use bourbon. And they're saying 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice.
Okay, then.
All right.
I have that 3/4 right here.
Oh, Lisa, you gotta read Lisa's comment while I shake it. Okay, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Out loud, I mean.
One of my friends from high school had that exact experience. His brothers and sisters, of which there were several, were older by
I have a friend too.
So he was always just like, you know, the Alice Cooper records, that kind of stuff, and the black light posters, the dripping candles. Remember that very specifically.
Oh my gosh.
What I specifically remember?
My aunt had those.
Pop can bottles, like a 7-Up can, particularly the 70 7-Up can made out of the dots, the big steel can. Make it into a lamp, and then you put a big red bulb into that with the filament that's loose, and it just goes woo. Yes, we own this because I actually acquired all of these things in the 80s.
Okay, so this was 1.5 ounces of your whiskey, 3/4 of an ounce lemon juice. I used fresh, and a teaspoon of. They say a teaspoon of sugar. I did simple syrup.
Simple is a lot easier to use, and it's a lot easier to make. So I recommend that you make some and use it.
Shake with ice. Strain into a cocktail glass. Ugh. Can you? Well, here, let's. You know what? Let's do this.
Yeah, I'll take care of
Thank
that. While you do your thing.
Would you clean that?
Could you add that?
Thank you. Shake with ice. Strain into a cocktail glass.
Busy active bar back here, folks.
I know.
If things get a little sticky, well, isn't that life?
Yeah, I had a friend too. Same thing. Her siblings were grown and gone, but they left all their stuff at their parents' house. So good times going through their stuff.
I remember actually visiting my cousins. They were staying by 10 years on me. Saw a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my aunt had those candles.
Yeah. They were different colors. You would light it up and it would drip in.
Hi, Devin.
And
Good
of course,
to see you.
What did you have to do with that kind of candle? You had to actually place it into a used Chianti bottle and drip it in the bottle.
Yeah, well, that's what she's saying.
There we go. Bingo. Oh, there we go. I'm way behind the times.
You're totally behind the times.
Oh, jeez. This guy. What kind of glass would you like? What size?
No.
Oh, you've got it.
Kind of big, but it might dwarf my drink. But we'll see.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I definitely remember like the cool records.
Maybe not.
We didn't have. My sister was like 2 years older. We were listening to like, the same stuff in the same era. There was no big difference there. And for a record player, she had like a portable. I think it's downstairs right now, made by GE with a where the stylus was kind of like it was like a nail. It wasn't very good for your records. But we did have the big system, which was, I think, Panasonic with a Garrard player. It was actually a pretty good player. I mean, it was nice to grow up with a real turntable. And it sounded good, you know? Records always sounded really good.
All right, that's fun. I'm going to add more bourbon. That's a lot of fun. I'm going to add more bourbon.
So this is a bourbon sour?
Yeah, well, they're calling it the ordinary
Sour.
sour. Because it doesn't have Southern comfort.
They're talking about whiskey sour, and this is the base on this. Try that again. Yep.
Oh, wait, don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hand me this spray?
Very heavy citrus hit on that.
And?
Because you've got very fresh juice, and you've got the twist. The twist gives it that little zazz, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm going to make it better.
You can make it better by pouring the remainder of that bourbon into the
not
drink.
by adding Southern comfort.
Justifying buying more bourbon today, right?
I'm going to make it better by adding more bourbon. No, it's good now. It's just, it'll be perfect when I had another half ounce of bourbon. Come on.
And here comes that half ounce, folks. I suspect that's an exact half ounce pour because of the way that we've been doing drinks on the show. Hello, look at that.
Look at that.
And boom. All right, so maybe there's a drag left.
Get every drop.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm glad I
use a spoon to get every drop.
Okay.
Well, you can use a spoon to give that a stir,
then
you're ready to go. See, look at that.
Or a swizzle stick.
A $7.50. It doesn't last.
Well, the spoon's already dirty. Go.
Watch as well.
Oh, wait. I gotta catch up.
We'll get it. Not a problem.
I just don't like missing out.
I just like the idea. Chew gum wrapper chains. Well, there's your pop top terp right there.
Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
Fascinated by that kind of stuff.
Oh, Devin, we've sort of regressed into the 70s.
Oh, Abra's right on it. Thank you, Abra.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And as
thank you,
fact,
Abra.
If you would like to see what exactly she has witnessed and we're talking about, this is the top 20 drinks. 76 is the actual copyright on this little pamphlet, which was available in your local issue of, I believe, People magazine at the time, because it tells you specifically how to get it out of the magazine. And the top 20 drinks is according to, I believe, I don't know. They don't specify how they got that data. Maybe they surveyed the top 20 bartenders. And as a matter of fact, it's published by Southern Comfort Corporation, of course. SoCo did a whole bunch of these at the time. You can find these in your secondhand stores, antique places will have these pretty cheaply. I think it's a pamphlet. But we love these. The styles pictured are just totally period. They're great. They have all sorts of drinks kicking around there. Some of these are kind of unique to SoCo. Some of these are just like, this is called a comfort eggnog. It's a cup of eggnog and, a cup of SoCo and a quart of eggnog. I guess that feeds about 10. Yeah.
I hope it feeds about 10.
Wow. Okay, that's under punches. Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. It's under punches. But definitely.
Hello, hospital?
Ouch. Because otherwise, you've got like number 10, the screwdriver, you know, jigger of vodka and orange juice. Some people like such things. So, they also have something called the sombrero, which rates as number 15.
No, I have that on our list to make later. It's a dessert drink.
It is a dessert drink.
But we're not there yet.
Okay. Big fun coming.
We still have to make chafing trauma.
Oh,
and what was the other one? Awkward positions.
The awkward positions. Sexual tension, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, fried boots. I never had any. I used to see ads for them in 17 magazine.
You know, I think that at the time...
And gunny sacks.
Your parents would have considered those expensive. But ultimately, they were probably a pretty moderately priced pair of boots and well-made.
Devin says my mother loves Southern Comfort.
SoCo.
There you go.
If I'm not mistaken, it's either SoCo or Jack Daniels, which was like the favorite of Janis Joplin. But I think it was SoCo.
Oh, really?
Like she was frequently seen on stage with a bottle of SoCo. and not particularly positive for her lifestyle at the time.
Well,
it was a pretty high living lifestyle, emphasis on the high, and she was not alone. I'm not going to single out Ms. Joplin. All of her contemporaries were living pretty hard. And
yeah, if you search on Janis Joplin, Southern Comfort, Janis Joplin loved her Southern Comfort.
Boom.
She brought a bottle on stage with her often.
I guess I've read enough of these stories.
She was so associated with the drink that Southern Comfort gave her a fur coat as a thanks for all the free publicity. It's unclear what their move was after Joplin died of the effects of heroin mixed with alcohol. Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy. It's,
Siri thinks I want to talk.
It was the rock and roll lifestyle. A lot of people were doing it and doing all sorts of things, and there was some pretty unfortunate.
Abra says, I used to drink sombreros all the time in the 80s and 90s. Well, we're going to make one later. Oh, she loved Janis Joplin. Okay, there you go.
She was a singer with guts. She was just this lonely kid from Port Arthur, Texas. And I think that she was getting a lot of crap in that period from all of her contemporaries. So she did the smart thing. She, as a folk singer, moved to San Francisco and met up with a bunch of dudes and became the lead singer of Big Brother. Well, they're great. They're a lot of fun.
What? Lisa says the only pair of go-go boots I had were go-go boots because my aunt was a go-go dancer. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Woo-hoo.
I love that.
I'm telling you.
So much.
Big fun. And the last thing about Janis is
Jennifer, hi. Good to see you.
Hello. I believe it's actually on record that she really learned to go for the gusto. Like, really learned to scream by listening to fellow Texan Rocky Erickson.
Oh.
Contemporary Texas band kicking around San Francisco in the fall of '66, like that. So yeah, I think we can definitely give the credit to Rocky.
Jennifer, you feel lost. We're talking about Janis Joplin and how she loved her Southern Comfort.
I happen to have some right here.
Oh, yeah.
And I have some right here because we're still talking about the top 20 drinks of, as it turns out, 1976. We have a bar guide dated 74 also, SoCo. I believe the top 20 is the same. So I guess the top 20 didn't change too much year to year. I don't see a wall banger in here yet, but I suspect
Oh, no, there is a wall banger.
There is a wall banger?
Yeah. No, there definitely is. Turn the page.
Oh, here we go. Number 13, wall banger.
And it's like, there's the comfort wall banger.
The comfort wall banger. Who makes that ever?
Oh.
Maybe we need to do that.
Oh, Jennifer says Facebook is a pain. I'm switching to YouTube. Okay, we'll see you there.
We'll see you on YouTube. There. Check it out. Here we go. The Comfort Wall Banger is a big drink among bestsellers at the Altamira Hotel, Sausalito. Well, I wonder if the Altamira is still there, and I wonder if it is still there, if you can go up to their version of Isaac and ask for a Comfort Wall Banger.
Does it seriously have Southern Comfort and Galliano?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Wow, kind of sweet.
No.
Maybe you can throw some bitters in there to cut that a little.
Please, no.
Whoa, Galliano has the bitter element to it because it's that kind of liquor.
I know I sound like I hate Southern Comfort. I don't. I do not. But not with Galliano. Oh, big mistake. That's just a bad hangover waiting to happen.
I think a number of our correspondents, perhaps who have tuned in tonight, may have had a negative reaction to SoCo in the past.
Like when you were 16.
May be related to the fact that when you were about that age, and like one of the few things that you could grab from Mom's liquor cabinet was a bottle of SoCo, and you're like, oh, this tastes good. Well, you had a lot
Jennifer
of it.
on YouTube.
And then you never had any of it ever again. That's unfortunate. It's just a liqueur. That's the thing. It's very mixable. Works very well. It is not applicable to all of the situations that are described in this little pamphlet. I think it makes some drinks a little sweet. But that's easy to counter. Add more sour.
Well, it's just so funny that they're talking about these classic drinks, and they're like, you could have the ordinary Manhattan or the improved Manhattan, where we take away all of the whiskey and substitute some comfort. Like, oh, Jennifer says I need to get out more. I've never had it.
Oh, well, I think that...
You've got time. You've got time to have it.
These things
I wouldn't rush down to the liquor store if I were you.
Not necessarily so, but it's easily available and could certainly be sampled at your local.
Devin says, I know I had a bunch of bad experiences with SoCo.
I remember some of my compatriots back in the day talking about some negative experiences with, what is the other big thing that people tended to get schnockered on? Peppermint schnapps.
Oh,
I just got a stomachache. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, no.
Schnapps is designed to be put into something that looks like this. And you take a schnapp of it. Boom. It's a shot.
Elizabeth says, Southern Comfort and Galliano sounds like a bad brown banana. Yes.
Wow.
It sounds awful.
I would try it just to try it, but we don't have the Galliano. So,
Saved by the lack of Galliano.
Next time I'm going to have to make that and a regular wall banger just because,
Now, see, this is exactly what we're saying. Lisa says, I got sick on Southern Comfort because I let it sneak up on me because I never had it before. I loved it and drank the whole... Oh, no.
Oh.
Surprised I didn't get alcohol poisoning. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's sweet, right?
Hey, here's the kick, and SoCo knows this.
So they've got an answer for you.
SoCo will tell you about this. Make this simple taste test. Learn how to improve most drinks. Can't improve everything. They have the number one drink in their top 20 is a martini. You can't improve that by substituting SoCo.
They wisely didn't tell you to add Southern Comfort to your martini.
No, not a good idea. So
you are lucky to be alive.
In the meantime,
we're lucky you're alive.
How do you improve your drinks? The flavor of any mixed drink is controlled by the taste of the liquor used as its base. True.
Jennifer says, oh, the disappointment in your voice.
To realize the importance of this, fill 4 short glasses, they mean shot glasses, with cracked ice. Pour a jigger of scotch or bourbon into one, rum into the next, gin into the third, and SoCo into the fourth. Sip the whiskey, then the rum, then the gin. Now do the same with SoCo. Sip it, and you found a completely different basic liquor, one that tastes good with nothing added. Well, that's because it's pre-sweetened.
Now we have to do that, right?
I didn't set that up because we don't actually have 4 equally sized shot glasses right now.
Where are they, in the dishwasher?
We will find them, but we don't necessarily need to do a shot of booze.
No, I'm not going to do a shot
of this.
I was thinking a sipper.
A sipper? All right, well, we can do a sipper. Let me find 4 equal glasses.
I think I took a bunch of shot glasses up to the Tiki Resort last weekend. So they're waiting for us there for Ohana, but
at the Tiki Resort.
They're not here.
We could simply use.
Oh, I know what we could do. I know. I'll be back. Hold on, I got it.
Well, then stop that. I'll
this
just
is a
stand
bad
here
idea.
and I'll have a little more of your drink.
This is a bad. Hey!
She heard that. We bust these over here, folks. It's really unfortunate to have a bad experience with a liquor, particularly one that's quite reputable, has a long history behind it, and I consider it very mixable, and I think I will mix with it tonight. Because it sours you for life. It's like, it's gone. Oh, no, I can't do it. It's like, I found the bottle of Amaretto, and I can never have that flavor again. It's like, oh, that's too bad. There we go.
Never have that recipe again. Oh, no. Anyway.
Yeah, I was talking about a cake, I think. But this recipe involves, whiskey, rum, gin, SoCo. So, could you do the honors with the whiskey, the rum,
that's vodka,
and the gin?
Do we have any gin?
Yes, we do. Happens to be a really nice gin, too.
I think it's the only gin.
I'll pour the SoCo. Yeah, that is the only gin we have. Guess we need gin.
So, I guess I need to go back to the liquor store tomorrow.
We're doing a really short pour. We're not doing shots here at this hour.
Oh.
Let's be real.
I love this discussion. Do we need ice cubes in them?
It calls for ice cubes. I will find a fragment that is the appropriate size.
Yeah, I think. Okay, here.
Thank you.
And I'm not even watching you pour. I will tell you what's what from tasting it.
You should be able to. This is not that
I
kind of
know.
taste
It's
test.
it's not that kind of taste test.
Now, rum-wise, I could... You know what? They're talking about light rum. Let's be real. They're talking about light rum. Let's not be stupid. And here we go.
I try not to be stupid.
I try to be stupid. And we need whiskey. So we happen to have available to me this.
Brand new bottle.
Beanball. Beanball bourbon from Cooperstown Distillery, Cooperstown, New York.
The other one was from Cooperstown Distillery, too.
Yeah, it was.
I will say one really nice thing about living in New York. We are awash in distilleries.
They are real. They have exploded over the past 10 years, even.
That sounds wrong. The distillery exploded.
We've actually heard from people running distilleries about distillery explosions. When the concentration of ethanol in the atmosphere gets high, you're in danger. So that's why there is a sensor within each distillery that says, getting up there. And if you hear that go off, get out of the building.
Yes.
Because you've got an explosive situation. It is a highly flammable
Literally.
substance. Absolutely. I didn't bring a knife, did I?
Don't we have...
Happen to have something that will help me out here?
Yes.
I don't want to make this all ragged.
All right, hold on.
But it's interesting to hear that, and when you're at the distillery, you can smell it in the air. Wow. There's also the fact that the first press, basically, it's not a press, it's a distillation. The first batch out of, or first, like, you know...
All right, I can't reach the board for this.
First bit that actually comes out of there is not that great. It has too many, off flavors. That's called the heads. And the last batch is the same as the tails.
So we've got too many things
in the middle is the heart. Let me cut this up. So
we need to clear out that cabinet because I can't reach the knife, and I don't want to just reach in there like, hey, where's the knife? So yeah, he's got it. He's good. Okay.
I should have brought along my pocket knife because, for just such a thing, and I happen to have a collection of pocket knives, so riddle me this. Okay, well, let's actually get a bit of ice in each of these.
Right now, you got to read what we're doing here again.
Yep.
As told to us by Top 20 Drinks.
Yep, top 20 drinks by Ahsoka.
Before we get to the sombrero
Mm-hmm.
and other dessert drinks.
There we go.
Oh! Abra lives 20 miles from Cooperstown. Oh!
Really?
Oh my gosh, you're close to... You're not close to us,
Not
but
close.
you're not like...
Not far.
You're not horribly far from us.
All right.
Okay.
Here's your 4 shots. Soko says, try the following taste test.
And I will just swear off of all other liquor for life. Oh, that's the Soko.
Well, this is not a blind taste test.
I'm not going to do that one first.
This was designed to actually try all of your standard liquors that you might have on your shelf. At least you would have 1 or 2 of these.
That's the gin.
Right? Yes, it is.
Clear my palate.
Cleanse the palate, right?
Bourbon.
Of course. Pretty identifiable as a micro
palate.
distillery.
It's the rum. No, that's the gin. Hold on.
Yep, that's the gin.
Something get mixed in with that?
No. Straight up. Clean glass.
The rum is weird. That's the gin.
That is the gin. I just tried it. Clearly. It's not supposed to be a blind taste test.
No, but it was like there's something mixed in with that rum.
An ice cube. Soko just wants you to try all
No,
your
I
regular
know, but it's
stuff.
like it doesn't taste like rum. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Soko just wants you to try your regulars and then try Soko and say, see?
I'm sorry. I said earlier that I don't not like Soko. I think I don't like Soko. I don't like it.
I'll do the same taste test, folks. Here we go. Here's your standard lineup of liquors. That's your basic taste of gin.
Ugh.
Basic taste of whiskey. Definitely a micro distillery. Rum. Rum tastes like the gin without the flavor notes.
There's something.
Clear. clear liquor.
But
Now,
it doesn't taste like clear liquor. It tastes like there's, like, I'm wondering if there's something got mixed in with the ice or something. I don't know. It's weird.
that's just ice from the store. So, finally, we got the SoCo. This is supposed to be the game changer. That's the one. This is the game changer. It's a liquor. I mean, it's a liqueur. There's like, it's sweetened and there's some fruit flavors in there. It's basically a type of premixed old-fashioned cocktail.
Hello,
At the
Chaz.
end of the day.
Good to see
That's
you.
what we got going on here.
Oh, Enid Clyde's birthday. I didn't know that.
Wow!
Well, happy birthday, Enid
How
Clyde.
about that? Well, we happen to enjoy a lot of his material and a lot of the records that don't feature him, but his label produced. His labels. I mean, he had 3 different labels. I really enjoy the Command and Project 3 stuff. Yeah. It was really, really great arrangements. How nice to know that. So look, my opinion on SoCo has not changed. I think that it's actually kind of nice. I think over ice I'd be okay with it, and I would definitely mix with it. So I will do that.
All right, well, I'm glad he likes it.
Somebody should.
Because I thought it was... I'm sorry.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
We don't like to slag off the liquors here.
No, I
because,
really don't.
You know, some of them might be sponsors sometimes.
If SoCo sponsors us, I'll let Paul create the drinks.
We can definitely do good things with this.
I know. I'm terrible.
I specialize in much maligned ingredients because all sorts of fun things can happen. And as I recall, in the Trader Vic books, like his autobiography, he specifically talks about using things like SoCo and saying, you know, it's a real curiosity. A lot of places don't use it, but he's fond of the stuff. But it's got some flavors pre-mixed into it. You can work with that. Definitely. So, I am going to try something, which is in this book, but I might need to find...
Oh, you're not going to make awkward positions or the chafing trauma?
I decided to actually make a SoCo cocktail. This was specifically created...
To you.
...for SoCo.
All right, what are we doing here?
And I think that those proportions are totally off.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Doing the Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh.
This was actually created for the movie Gone with the Wind in 1939. Guess what? We happen to have a bar guide from 1939, which is probably going to give me exactly what I would look for in a Scarlett O'Hara.
Okay, is it down here though, or is it upstairs somewhere?
Nope, right here.
Okay. You never know around here. I know I've had a Scarlett O'Hara, and it's been many years. He says it's right here, but... Will he be back?
Just making sure.
Oh, okay. I love that there's a conversation happening. If...
I have to be very close. This is actually within a whole lineup of drinks.
Oh, yeah. There's like the Rhett Butler. Yeah, okay.
Of drinks concerning Hollywood personalities. And as a matter of fact, there is a drink called the Rhett Butler, which is a lot more obscure than the Scarlett O'Hara, interestingly enough.
All right.
But yeah, the actual copyright on this little book is 1941. This is actually encased in wood. It's plywood.
Aged in wood.
Aged in wood. Smells like it too. And we have another one that looks almost identical. There were 3 in this series. We didn't buy the third.
There's something called the egg sour.
Egg sour. Yep. No, it's not too unusual, really. But here we have something called the Scarlett O'Hara, and it says, yes, it's new. How about that? And as a matter of fact, that's interesting. This
Lay it on me.
I'm not going to do this. This involves using bourbon and peach, which is exactly what you're getting in the SoCo. I'm just going to use the SoCo. But it does say serve in a saucer champagne glass. I am going to do that.
All right,
so
well, here's
I think that I would...
Here you go.
This says...
20 drinks.
Yep. Jigger or SoCo. I could go with that as a first ingredient.
Oh,
sure.
Gosh. I'm scared.
It's just a jigger.
It's not... I'm not comforted by this idea. I'm not comforted by this drink. Oh! Happy anniversary, Lisa and Errol.
Well,
That's wonderful.
And hey,
Oh.
and you're separated today, but you're here on the broadcast together. Oh.
Jennifer, I agree with you. Egg sour does sound nasty.
Depends which one I do.
No, it sounds nasty. Jennifer and I are a united front here.
1.5 ounces of your SoCo.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
so horrified.
Yes,
I don't even want to try this one. Okay.
I believe this involves about 1/2 ounce of your sour using lemon juice.
Okay.
You can use lime juice, doesn't matter.
Okay.
You definitely want to sour this up because you're starting with the liquor.
And
then
some
your
bitters wouldn't
next
hurt either.
ingredient, yeah, I'll probably add that. Next ingredient is cranberry cocktail. Now, I'm using the all juice cocktail. Recommend that, otherwise you're getting a lot of spurious sweeteners.
Or just sugar, but...
And I think that they're calling for a full jig of this. I'm putting in 1 ounce. I'm going to go from there and see where it ends up. I don't want this thing to go veer too sweet. And I've got a secret weapon that should help it out.
I'm excited to hear about the secret weapon. Is it cranberry bitters?
Yeah, maybe. So much for secrets, folks. So this
Come
was
on to him.
a popular thing back in the day. Probably, it was certainly created for the movie, right? I got a bar guide here, which is like literally 2 years off of the movie being a big hit. And strain into your saucer champagne glass. I believe
Saucer
you have
champagne
one
glass.
of these left because I broke the other one.
Hello, Cam Schwarzkopf.
Yeah.
Is egg sour using more than just the egg white? Do you still have the book?
I do have the book.
Okay, good. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay.
I thought egg sour sounded horrifying.
Oh, the name sounds really,
Yes,
truly
always,
terrible.
Jennifer. We are united. front.
Many drinks out there do involve egg white in terms of a foaming ingredient.
What if you take it?
Much better.
What if you took it egg sour and fry
Sour egg.
Oh.
If your egg has gone sour, generally you should toss it out.
No, I think you should just... No, that was the name of the drink. The egg sour.
Now that actually has a pretty nice
You thought
color
it sounded
to
okay. You endorsed it
What,
without trying it.
egg sour?
Yeah.
Or this?
No, the egg sour.
Egg sour. Well, we'll try that out, shall we? So let's see. First of all,
I bought eggs.
straight up as was. Don't be afraid.
Yuck. Alright.
Doesn't like it. Yeah, I don't like the thing. I don't think that I would
He
go
likes it.
with the full
He likes
amount,
it. Hey, Mikey.
the
Speaking
full
of the
amount
70s.
of recommended cranberry juice. It does add a nice color. It's good, but I tell you, I will certainly reach for the cranberry bitters and see if we can improve
I mean,
this.
it's not the worst thing I've had, but that's not saying a lot. I've had some really horrible cocktails.
Here we go.
It's a low bar.
That's actually adding some nice color to
Try
this.
it again. I'll try it again.
This really sounds like this should be the color of this cocktail.
Yes, yeah, we do often make sours with egg whites.
That does improve that. Yeah, no
We need to
question.
look this recipe up again.
No question.
It's definitely helped by the bitters. I think I just don't like Southern Comfort.
Not a fan.
I was trying to be diplomatic earlier. Now the gloves are off. I don't like Southern Comfort. But you have mine.
I don't mind at all. So,
Alright, the egg
actual
sour.
egg
Here we go.
sour, as detailed in
Yeah,
this book,
He would.
this is the Here's How book. Here's How. A teaspoon of powdered sugar. You could use this
Okay.
simple syrup. 3 dashes of lemon. That sounds like low.
Okay.
Dash of curacao. Jigger of brandy. 1 egg. Shake in a mixing
whole
glass
egg?
with shaved whole egg. And strain to a Delmonico glass. I gotta figure out what the hell that is. And at the end of the day, that's just like kind of like a royal sour. What makes it royal was that using an egg, but using the whole egg. There are drinks that will do that. Usually they're called eggnog.
You can buy Delmonico glasses on Amazon, apparently.
Now, what in the world does that look like? Now I'm intrigued.
I'm looking.
I brought it up.
Delmonico glass isn't even on there. What the hell? Okay, hold on.
Rip off. So that's your egg sour. I think that's not
That doesn't
well named.
sound bad. I mean, that sounds...
I'm telling you, it didn't sound obscene. You know?
What is a Delmonico glass? It's a highball glass.
It's a highball glass.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So, I guess Delmonico, the restaurant Delmonico, which is still there.
Delmonico glass.
In the financial district.
Is it still open?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Lisa says, I'm waiting for you guys to do a coupe cocktail glassware. Okay. All right.
Well, here's a coupe.
Oh, I was just a part of a horrible Mai Tais in bars Facebook group. You know, I wonder, I follow someone on Instagram who does bad Mai Tais, and the stuff she posts is frighteningly hilarious. I wonder if it's the same folks.
That reminds me of something quite fun. Be right back.
Oh yeah, no, we tend to take pictures of menus in restaurants and bars that are like, here's the Mai Tai, and it involves blah blah blah. We're like, none of those ingredients are actually in a Mai Tai, but
yeah, I've had some interesting experiences. I like to go into a bar and ask for something which I think they should be able to make and see what happens. And the Mai Tai is always a great thing because I enjoy them. We make them very well here. Many home bars that we have seen over the years will make you a pretty kick in the butt Mai Tai.
Is it still down here?
It's there, I think. Isn't it?
Oh no!
I'll put it back here. Put it back here.
He deep sixed
Safekeeping. I didn't deep sink it that far. So, and many bars these days will actually make you either just like a straight up Vic Mai Tai, like sort of like the way they make them these days, or just a variation that's very good. So the Mai Tai, which went through a long period where you had a lot of spurious things masquerading as a Mai Tai, these days you're more likely, probably about 60%, to get a decent Mai Tai. That leaves you with 40% where you're not. And I have actually ordered one at a bar on the Seaport, Lower Manhattan.
I've heard this. I wasn't there. I heard the story.
Probably as much as 10 years ago. I just decided, oh, what the hell, I have Mai Tai. And the gal says, sure. Not even a moment's hesitation. She just goes right to work, and she just starts pouring stuff, shakes it up, hands it to me, and I'm like, I don't know what's in that. I'm not entirely sure it's rum. I thought it was vodka, and it didn't taste anything near. So that was interesting. I really should have watched her more closely to see what the hell it was. But that was fascinating.
Yes, Jennifer, you can buy anything and everything on Amazon. It is true.
On the other hand, we have the Mr. Boston Bar Guide,
oh, no.
circa 1965. This was my parents' little book. This is a fairly thin volume compared to the contemporary ones.
It's got some tape flags hanging out the back.
Tape flags, so you know what's in there. And it's alphabetical. I can go right to the Mai Tai. What's interesting is that when you're looking at a lot of vintage bar guides from the 50s...
I know what I'm doing next.
You'll find a lot of tropical cocktails that you're familiar with. The Fog Cutter, the Zombie. What you will not find is the Mai Tai. It was not... It hadn't reached its peak of popularity. But somewhere in that period, they start serving them on Matson lines, and then eventually they start serving them on, I believe, Continental was serving Trader Vic's Mai Tais.
Yep.
And suddenly every bar has to make one.
United, but...
That's right, United. Suddenly every bar has to make one. So they start coming up with a Mai Tai, and some of those were pretty atrocious. But dig, here's Mr. Boston, says, what do you put in a Mai Tai? Bear with me now. Half a teaspoon of powdered sugar.
We have been this long.
2 ounces of imported rum. They're calling for Old Mr. Boston imported rum. It's a Mr. Boston Bar Guide. But use a good aged rum, you'll be fine. Half teaspoon of powdered sugar, 2 ounces of the rum, 1 ounce of curacao, half ounce of orgeat, half ounce fresh lime juice. Gee, that sounds totally legit. That's a Mai Tai. You know, give or take a few variations of ingredients of Mai Tai. The one thing they vary is they say half ounce of grenadine. Now, that's being put in there because a lot of people thought that a Mai Tai should be this color. There's a good reason for that, and Mr. Boston followed suit. Omit the grenadine, you're done. They also say, shake, strain large old-fashioned cocktail glass with a bunch of crushed ice, decorate with maraschino cherry, spirit to the wedge of a preferably fresh pineapple wedge. Well, That's pretty legit. At the end of the day, Mr. Boston is about 95% correct. So I got to credit them. They found a good Mai Tai.
All right.
A lot of our guides give you some pretty interesting results, and so do a lot of bars these days.
So I'm going through top 20 drinks, trying to find something that doesn't horrify me.
With Soko?
No, not with Soko.
Not with Soko.
And they're
Sorry.
They're saying that the number's at 6.
9.
Number 9, top
9?
20 drink from 1976, margarita.
Margarita.
So interestingly, let's see, do we have a shaker with measures?
I'll find one.
Thank you. Interestingly, this margarita doesn't use sugar beyond the triple sec. So I'm going to
I'll do it.
try this out because I think this is a little bit closer to what I would make.
Yeah.
They wisely didn't suggest adding Southern Comfort to your margarita.
Or
that
sour
would be
mix.
A terrible idea.
Still big fun.
I assume you used up all of the other tequila.
Gone. Absolutely. That was a mission of mercy, but it worked very well.
Well, it wasn't exactly mercy, but trying to get the glass cork out of this
Mission of
bottle.
friendship, perhaps. Oh, you got it.
A mission of friendship. That's what it was.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it was.
I'm always happy to use up tequila on a mission of friendship.
Good tequila. It happens that this is also very good
1.5 ounces of tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Our wonderful neighbor brought us this tequila. So
From the
it's
duty
really
free.
good.
This
From
is
the
a
duty-free.
really nice bottle.
It's beautiful.
What's the brand again? This is
Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Reposado.
one.
Well,
Yep.
we drink a lot of Reposado y Añejo tequila. I think that I happen to like my tequila to rest for a little while.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's getting tough too. And watch out for that cork.
I found triple sec.
Definitely have had that cork break on us. Marnier is wonderful for many things. However, they are very traditional and they still use real cork in a liqueur. It gets a little seized up from time to time when all that sugary stuff starts drying out.
And this recipe actually called for lime juice. I'm going to use lemon. He didn't squeeze lime.
I didn't think it was necessary.
Oh yeah, in the 70s, every Chinese restaurant had Mai Tais on the menu.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, some of them were probably pretty good and some of them were definitely pretty bad. However, most of them were probably
Oh, and I killed the lemon juice.
Excellent. Most of them were probably served in Orchids of Hawaii ceramic ware,
Oh yeah.
which was an excellent idea. You can still find a lot of that on the secondary market. They're very cool designs. I believe that those molds were inherited by
Dynasty?
Yeah, Dynasty Wholesale, where you can find them today. The designs are probably a little soft because they're old molds, but you can still find a lot of things like, the Dr. Fu and the double fashions.
The Suffering Bastard.
Suffering Bastard, they make a really great Suffering Bastard mug.
I didn't do a salted rim because I did not know ahead of time I was going to do this. But we're going to try Soko's proportions and see what we think.
I think Soko's proportions are pretty spot on.
That's pretty clean, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty clean. That'll do.
All right. Hi, Mars.
This works very well in a cocktail style glass or a coupe.
Oh, yeah. Paul's not wearing his hat because he's going for a 70s look.
Hey, man, it's my hair. I can't get it all crushed. You know what I mean? It should be higher, I know. We really should have gone for a lot of hairspray.
The higher the hair.
You know what they say? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the rare no-hat episode. So margarita was one of those things which had been around for some time. Probably reliable sources state from about the 1940s. Potentially earlier, but those reports are not that reliable.
Did we lose our signal?
No,
I hope you can see it. It said for a second we lost our signal.
Okay, well, we're still going, I think.
You mind?
I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
Need to try this, though. And
Getting pretty good in the back.
Get a little tight, you know. My hands are going to get in the back. But it became a real thing in the 70s, I think. There's some point where tequila stopped being...
I lost the thread of the conversation.
This, like, rot gut stuff from south of the border and became a reputable liquor. And people were like, people started drinking different things.
Well, I think it was always a reputable liquor. I just think that what they were marketing to Americans...
Was not aged.
Was not aged.
Not aged well. Yeah. It was just, like, really bottom of the barrel stuff. Well, bottom of the barrel whiskey is terrible too. So that's the thing.
Suddenly, how I know.
Tequila producers are like, well, wait a minute, we can produce better stuff, and they're like,
hey, Jamie,
start coming out with añejo, reposado, something that you would mix with and taste good. And I think Southern California starts picking up on this. There's all of these cruises down there to
Puerto
Vallarta,
Acapulco,
that kind of thing.
Cabo San Lucas,
Cabo, bingo. And all these people are like bringing back all the tequila. And then like you've got Jimmy Buffett starts singing a song about it, and people are like, oh, I'd like to try a margarita. Well, a margarita is nothing more than a sidecar with tequila. That's it. The sidecar had already been kicking around. Somebody said, sub the tequila. What do you got? Something really tasty.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer says we're good on YouTube. Okay, it might just be like our connection.
Yeah, our connection
big
is like
shock
from time to time.
Big shock.
Big shocker indeed. So that's it. And there's a point where you could probably trace this with some good articles in the New Yorker, or perhaps even better, New York Magazine. And probably some good newspaper bits. We're like, when does the margarita really come into the consciousness? Probably around 1972. Around the time when people are starting to say, well, martinis are a little old hat. Well, what's new? Margarita. And people start drinking those. And that becomes a thing. And then suddenly it's like your grandmother's drinking them, your mother's drinking them. Oh, pitchers of margaritas. Sounds great on the patio.
Fun.
It's a sour. It's a classic sour.
I'll stand by it.
Make a big picture of them and just like
fun.
Sit there all afternoon by the pool enjoying some margaritas.
Without Southern comfort.
SoCo does not say to put SoCo in their margarita.
I'm not comforted by it.
You can sub the SoCo for the whiskey with varying results.
Ugh.
I went for an actual SoCo drink.
Hi, Tim.
And I'm enjoying it.
Good to see you.
Oh, hi,
hello,
Tim.
Howdy. Yay.
But
I'm so glad you're here.
I believe Tim can mix you up a pretty mean pitcher of margaritas.
Or Mai Tais.
Or Mai Tais.
Yep.
Either.
This man, he knows what he's doing.
Yes. Yes, he is. But I'm enjoying both of these. That's a very nice margarita.
It is.
You could rim that with salt. You could
I would, if I'd known I was
sugar.
going to make this ahead of time, I would have given it a salted rim.
I know that just last week I was putting some garnishes on the drink and whatnot and saying I don't use enough garnishes. I haven't used an umbrella in ages. And I found the umbrellas and said, let's grab some umbrellas and put them in the drinks. Definitely. You want to do that with your old-fashioned style glass because it's not going to go in this.
And the Price is Right's giving away his Mexican... Oh, the Mexican cruise trips, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, wait. Lisa says, I have a question. If the cork stopper in the Grand Marnier ever comes apart and the cork part gets pushed into the bottle, would it be best to leave the cork floating around in the bottle, or would it be better to...
Put the rest of the contents in a different bottle.
That happened to us.
It has definitely happened to us.
That happened to us.
And clearly it has probably happened to you. So here's the thing. The cork is inert and does not add anything whatsoever to the flavor. That's why cork is used in many cases. It will not affect your pour if you happen to substitute it from cork. That's not a big deal. The main issue I could say is that when a cork fractures into your bottle like that, there'll be a lot of fragments. So you get all these like tiny bits floating around, and it's pretty unattractive.
Oh, definitely strain it.
You could strain it out, and actually, you could put it in a different bottle, or you could decant it back into the same bottle. At the point where it breaks, you're probably half down in that bottle anyway. So I say, make a few more sidecars or margaritas, and then you'll be done with it in no time. You don't have to get rid of it, but I would get rid of the tiny little flecks. And by the way, that's not unique. We had a friend who inherited some bottles of Old Fitzgerald. I think he said that his uncle ran a liquor store in the 50s, and he actually had some 1950s old Fitzgerald.
Who's this?
This was Dave.
Oh.
He had like 3 bottles that dated from that period. He'd cracked one of them, and he said, "Here, try this out." I'm like, "This was great." I think it was actually put into the barrel in 1950. It's awesome. And at one point, we had the occasion to crack the second bottle, and the cork just completely fell apart. It was just like, wow, that was impressive. So he actually strained it out, got all the fragments out of it, and put it back in the bottle. It happens, you know.
You could get one of those little bags like we have.
Oh, like a strainer bag. Yes.
Yeah.
Or just,
You've been known to do that. Yeah, just strain it through a strainer bag and...
Yeah, or your colander.
You could even save your bottle, and get a different cork. But yeah.
But sure. So that's a legitimate question. What do we do about that kind of thing? Yeah, I think that these manufacturers might want to use the plastic corks because they don't fall apart like that. Provided that.
But that's happened to us.
Definitely happened. A lot of contemporary liquor and liquor in the micro category uses the actual cork. If it's liquor, that's fine. That's fair. If it's liqueur, you got that problem with the sugary stuff.
Yeah.
It's sticky. It's going to give you cork fits.
Cork fits?
It certainly is giving you problems.
Is it like an actual diagnosis?
Cork fits.
Cork fits.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I didn't invent that. So.
I feel like we should make the sombrero because I wrote it down.
Well, you certainly could.
That's going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of top 20 drinks of 1976. All right. So I think we need to read some more from... Where'd the book go?
You had it last, so I couldn't tell.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
See?
Top 20 drinks. Let's read some more. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Did you see that guy's scarf?
I did. Pretty impressive.
That guy's scarf. Oh.
And it's not an ascot. That's the thing about it.
It's not an ascot.
It should be an ascot.
These couples. It's just so terrifying.
See, their scarlet right here is deep red. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah. Okay, hold on.
That's why I did add some color to mine, which
I'm
I think improved the drink.
I'm trying to avoid getting the book sticky.
It's a good idea. It's a thin pamphlet, after all.
Barbara says I was a sombrero addict back in the day. I'm altering the amount of milk.
Yeah. Match
for
that
my
to
own
contemporary
taste.
taste.
For my own taste.
That sort of thing.
The polyester pants. I had polyester pants like that, by the way.
Got to tell you.
Speaking of chafing.
Anyway, a reading from the book of. What do we have?
I'm trying to find something fun to read. Open house punch. Oh, no. If you want to get people to leave your open house, make this punch. All right. I'll let you read Open House Punch.
The top 20 drinks, the back page actually talks about large punches and things. There's actually the Comfort Eggnog tells you how to make like about 12 different eggnogs. No, not 12 different, like 12 servings of eggnog, which is a cup of SoCo or a quart of eggnog. We have Open House Punch. Tastes like a cocktail. Like a cocktail?
As opposed to...
Maybe you should just make some SoCo cocktails.
Tasting like a salad? I don't know.
This says serves 32. Might be some small glasses. A fifth of SoCo. Now that's vintage. Liquor is no longer served in fifths. It's served in 750s and liters. Okay, 3 quarts of 7-Up. 7-Up is no longer served in quarts. 6 ounces of fresh lemon juice. That's the first positive thing I've heard. 1 6-ounce can of frozen lemonade and 1 6-ounce can of frozen orange juice. You just add those in straight. Chill ingredients, mix in punch bowl. Add the 7-Up last because it's bowling.
Wait, is that everything?
That's everything.
I'm kind of okay with that because I feel like the SoCo would be buried by all the others.
A lot of other ingredients, and you have a lot of lemon juice for all of that stuff. That should actually do it.
Abra says, how do we survive the 70s? I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Mara says, late 70s, light blue denim and corduroys. Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
All right, let us know if you keep losing this. Our computer keeps telling us we're losing the signal. So if you're losing, wait.
It's telling us that a lot.
It is telling us that a lot. So if you're losing the signal, let us know.
If it's not getting interrupted on your end, then obviously our local is having a hernia, and okay.
Yeah, as long as we're not, as long as you're not seeing it. Okay, Abra says signal's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Abra says on Facebook and Jennifer on YouTube. So okay.
Hey, so guess what? The 70s can continue. Awesome. Good stuff.
I kind of want to just replace our floor with like the light up disco floor from Saturday Night Fever. But...
Well, that's not exactly a detriment after all. But it would mean that we would need to keep some Seagram 7 around, because
of 7 and 7s.
7 and 7s.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Why was that a popular thing? Because it's easy.
Pleated plaid polyester white bells. Exactly. Oh, Lisa says, I don't know how I made it to adulthood. I was such a wild child. You were just meant to be here.
The Hector is still receiving us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good.
But definitely.
The signal is staying alive. I love it.
I do happen to like that very much, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay. Jamie got a brief drop. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, just keeps on conking out on us.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so I start wondering if one of these platforms is flaking on us. And that would be Facebook.
Jennifer says, we were too young to drink in the 70s. That's how we survived. I think you're right.
Most of us were, and most of us did not actually do so. And that was wise. I have told the story sometimes of how, as an underage person, I actually made a drink from the bar guide to check it out, and it was terrible, and I poured it down the drain.
I suppose you could tell the story again.
I decided at the age of, I don't know, not drinking age, to try something. And I looked in this actual bar guide to see what they considered to be a drink. And I said, margarita, I've heard of that. And I made one. And I even used the salt rim like it said. And it was terrible. And I said, yeah, bye. Tried it several times and not happening. So that like took me off of that for a while.
How old were you?
I don't know.
Approximately how old were you?
Probably 17.
Okay.
My contemporaries at the time were probably getting loaded on peppermint schnapps. I'm gonna say.
Albert says I didn't drink until 1981.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fair. It's fair.
Now, did you do anything wrong, or you just didn't like the taste?
I followed the exact proportions in this exact book.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what they say. The margarita cocktail, according to Mr. Boston, 60s.
Okay.
Shot of tequila, half-ounce triple, half-ounce of lemon or lime. Rub rim with the lemon and dip in salt. That's a perfectly legitimate margarita.
Slow gin and 7-Up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
That'll take you back.
Wow. Not to good places, but yes. Yeah, definitely.
Wait, you like slow gin, though.
I like a good slow gin. It's another thing that's like Sauco. It's very particular. It's a kind of a vintage product.
Wait,
it's not
so no, I
made.
think that what you're describing in that book, you would drink now.
I would drink now. You just made it.
Yeah.
The
At the time,
thing.
you were grossed out, but...
I think it was the problem that was the tequila in the house was not very good. So
I know. I had that tequila, actually.
Yeah, we have that bottle still. That exact bottle of tequila.
The bottle's amazing. When the tequila was gone, we washed it out and saved the bottle, because the bottle's great. But...
The contents were not high quality.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, so Lisa says, I'm watching on YouTube on my... Wait, hold on. It's commenting on Facebook, my phone. Okay, good. All right. Jamie says, mid-70s, we were sneaking creme de menthe from the folks' liquor cabinet. One of the recipes in this book is the stinger. I was a little bit tempted.
It was minty, and it was easy going down.
Lisa says, I didn't start drinking till my late 40s. Oh my gosh.
Wow. I know friends. We have friends who really didn't do it until much later. And there's specific reasons for that. And contemporarily, they enjoy this stuff. I think that you should enjoy this stuff.
You know what?
And if it's a problem, that's a different thing.
Wait, Errol's back!
Hey!
Oh my gosh, hi Errol! You're back.
Back
Good
there.
to see you.
Yeah.
Wait, Jennifer says, my mom had me try a martini when I was 13. Yuck.
When I was...
that was smart of her, actually.
Yeah.
Because it just made me feel like,
Smart off.
no. Yeah.
It's that
was very smart.
A martini is 100% booze and mostly high-proof gin. So you try and you're like, ew, you know, I don't like that.
You're like, oh, I don't drink. This is horrible.
Yep.
Rather than giving someone like schnapps or something.
Something like sugary and easy going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather would give me a sip of the beer, and I always thought that was kind of interesting. But I never actually, I didn't decide like, I'm going to go drink a lot of beer. I just thought that was kind of fun. It was an adult thing. We knew that.
I remember the first time I ever tried beer. It was outdoors, and it was a Coors, not cold, and it was awful.
Of course it was.
It's like basically a sip of warm beer from the can. I was just like, oh, I hate beer.
Yeah, of course you did.
I love beer, but...
You drink quality beer.
Yeah.
No big surprise there, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad Errol's back. Yay!
Hey.
Never too late to start, exactly.
Let's do something fun. Here's the remains of our 4, like, nips.
Oh, no.
Swamp water.
No, you are not doing that.
Let's actually combine
Swamp
all in one
water.
glass. I was out, so I gotta try something. And it's kind of dilute because there's all these ice cubes in there. Well, you know, I'm game to try anything.
You don't have to drink
I'm not gonna finish anything. But let's see what we got.
Ooh, that's horrible.
It's horrible.
Don't drink it.
We'll let that one rest.
Do you want to make the sombrero?
I can make the sombrero.
I put 4 ounces of milk.
Okay.
The recipe originally called for 8 ounces, but I thought that was way too much milk.
Yeah.
Make 2. I'll have one.
Okay. So 8 ounces of milk.
So 8 ounces of milk.
So 8 ounces of milk. Yeah. Right out of space over here.
I'm gonna make a dessert drink here.
Yeah. After all that, maybe something that's a little lighter.
Shots. Oh. Chess says graduated in 73 with lots of Boone's Farm.
That'll get you go where you're going. That's only because you decided that Ripple was not available
Barbara
to you.
says alcohol was not forbidden when I was a kid, so I never felt the need to drink before 18. Right? I love that. Boone's Farm.
See, I don't think I've got any graduated markers.
Yeah, Jennifer says true. I didn't try gin again until I was in my 30s.
Yeah, big surprise.
That was, your mom was smart.
Mm-hmm. Did a fun thing to you. So I need a measure. That'll give me 1 ounce, which I just had at my fingertips. Here it is. Okay, we need 8 ounces.
If you're gonna do 2.
Yeah.
Alright, he's making the sombrero now. Which, the sombrero, according to this book, this might be controversial. This book said, I want to make sure I got it right. What happened with the book?
Can you get far?
That's a lot of milk.
It's 8 ounces.
I'm getting scared of all the milk.
It's 8 ounces
I know.
as you specified.
I know.
I'm just saying.
No, that wasn't directed at you.
Didn't want to do it. You should have done it.
No, that wasn't directed at you. That was directed at the Soko book. That's a lot of milk.
A lot of milk. But that's 8 ounces.
Yeah, rice dream.
Rice cream? Yeah. You know, that stuff lasts a lot longer than cow milk in the fridge.
Well,
so keep that
also,
on
like I've been trying to lower my potassium, so rice is good for that. Oh, wait.
How much of the liquor?
Wait, hold on. Errol says, my daughter Allison, age 12, was at a family event and ran up to me wanting a drink of what she thought was root beer. It was beer, and she didn't like it. See, we all have stories like that.
If you're expecting something that is very sweet and herbal, and you get something that is just very sharp.
She drank it before I could say, not this. Right. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have you add extra coffee liqueur.
That's fine.
So this originally said 4 ounces chilled milk,
And a shot of the
And
coffee liquor.
I'm going to have you do 2 ounces of the coffee liqueur. So do 4
Okay.
ounces of the coffee liqueur, please.
I can
And we'll
agree
see
with
if
that.
it needs more.
We happen to be using grind espresso shot, which is a pretty intense coffee shot.
Yes.
Kind of nice. I like my liqueurs to have very pronounced flavors. So
And
it stands
I
out.
want you to do half and half. Well, no, not half, but
What kind of glass does this go into?
shake. I said shake vigorously with ice and pour into a rocks glass. So
I'll take your rock glasses.
sure you will.
Or single old fashions. As it is.
Oh, I know. Okay, I got it. I got it.
SOF.
I got it. I got it.
Wow. We used up the ice. Luckily, I have an aux supply right here.
I got it. I got your glasses right here.
Those will do. Kind of perfect. Okay, shake with it.
I want to make sure we got our proportions right. I actually think this will be better with the rice milk than cow milk. Because the rice milk I think is lighter, but
Okay.
here we go. Oh my gosh, all of these yucky cups.
They've been emptied, so you can get rid of them.
Oh, Jennifer, thank you. We redecorated our living room to match this ice bucket.
The actual bucket.
We're not done. We're almost done. We'll be sharing a video soon-ish. Yeah. Lisa says it looks like it won't fit well in a rocks glass. Oh! Devin says, just came home with Seek's hard lemonade. Oh my gosh, yummy. All right. Losing our signal again.
That seems about right.
That's pretty good, actually.
I think the
All
extra
right.
coffee liqueur was a good idea. It's sweet enough. There's no sour in here because it's a dessert drink, so it actually kind of tastes like melted coffee ice cream.
I changed.
I'm good with that right now.
I changed the proportions in our cocktail sheet. So
Yeah.
good.
The thing about this type of drink, I wouldn't order this and then order another and another because it's just
Well, I don't think I would
sweet
order
and
it.
dessert.
I wouldn't order it as a drink ever. I would order it for dessert. When you're like, would you like to see the dessert menu? I'll be like, I'll just have this.
Have this thing, you know, because it's just like a lot of cream and a lot of the liqueur, a lot of sweetener.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on.
Not bad at all.
Ah! I can't type. Ah!
Take your time.
I
Take
got
your
it.
time. There is
No,
no
I got
rush
it.
here.
I got it.
We're just talking about dessert drinks.
I got it.
This thing should taste like exactly
We
what
are
it is.
caught up
Sort of melted ice cream.
on our cocktail sheet
Mm-hmm.
that all of our Patreon patrons will get tomorrow. Oh yeah, I want to have a tour.
Yeah. We're still working on things. Just put a new gate.
Oh, Jennifer said, yeah,
On
the
the
grand
fence
tour.
out back.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
We're about to go fence in the plants out back. We still have, various and sundry small things to do around the journey.
Various and sundry.
Yep.
We have a
But-
lot.
But we will get to them. And, yeah, let's tour. It's easy to make this thing mobile. So,
We need to laminate in here, which I hope will happen in the next week.
it would be very nice. I think
It
we
would
can
be
handle it.
very nice.
Yeah. Good stuff. So your sombrero, my sombrero,
Yes.
my key drinking. We worked through the Soko book here,
Yes.
and not all of those things were things you wouldn't drink. Some of them you think, I'm not so sure.
Yeah,
about
Arbor
that.
says sombreros used to be made with Kahlua and half. I think I learned that in bartending school, actually.
The half and half is because a lot of these classic drinks involved heavy cream.
Yes.
Now, in a certain period of time, I suppose people just drank shots of heavy cream and they didn't think twice about it. By the 1970s, they thought they might want to cut down on the heaviness, so half and half became the thing. You needed it to have some body to it, so you needed to have some cream in there. But you needed to cut that down so it wasn't just like 400 calories per drink. You know?
Oh my gosh, Devin says, I made yesterday Jell-O cups with gelatin and Lady Grey tea. It was so good, but I added too much sweetener, so I made yerba mate tea today. That sounds great.
Mate tea, of course, is
Delicious.
Extremely popular in South America. I think Colombia, Argentina, for instance, are like very, very, very fond of mate. We've actually found our local supermarket that has a lot of, say, Central and South American products has a mate soda. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the manufacturer who makes that, but that's interesting, you know? Yeah. And plenty of different brands of mate too. It's fun stuff to experiment with. It's very specific.
Ooh, good.
Naturally enough, a lot of people who do it with loose tea leaves. And if you put that in a glass, you get leaves in your teeth. So you need to use the bombilla so you can strain it out.
Lisa says, when you say laminate, you aren't thinking about putting plastic coverings on your couch and chairs. No.
Different kind of laminate. Just saying.
Jamie's folks were on a Harvey Wallbanger kick for most of the 70s. I can see that.
The Wallbanger, which probably historically originated sometimes in the late 60s.
I love that.
Really became a big thing about 10 years later. And yeah, people were going crazy for Wallbangers. At the end of the day, it's a screwdriver with some Galliano. Not that complicated. Yep. Oh, wow, yeah, I dig that. Argentina had interesting history with population. There were huge migrations of different people from various places. It wasn't just like conquistadors. There was a big migration of Germans and Irish that had Argentina, and English. So you see all these different things kicking around there. Also Italian. There's a large Italian population that made it in Argentina. Yep. I believe it's Fernet Branca is extremely popular there, to the point where there are plants making it locally, not in Italy. So.
Okay.
But Amari are very popular in Argentina, therefore. Definitely. We actually subscribe to Imbibe magazine, which is all about liquors and the trade. And there was a really good article about 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 months back. Please. Concerning Argentina bars, and it was really cool. It was just talking about the local thing. There's a very long history of that sort of thing, and so there's a lot of really great bars happening in Buenos Aires right now. So interesting.
Well, I got my renewed passport, so
we can travel.
Have to go.
Have to check it out sometime. Well.
Is that it?
That might be about it. We got some great stuff tonight.
Right.
Everywhere from the Scholar O'Hara to the Wallbanger, and in between for some drinks you might actually drink.
Sounds so ignominious. The Scholar O'Hara to the Wallbanger.
I actually enjoyed the Scholar O'Hara that I made, and I would recommend making it that way. I would recommend using.
I learned I don't like Southern Comfort
juice
tonight.
Cranberry, definitely.
Things I learned this evening. I don't like SoCo.
It's good to retry things from time to time.
Galliano Lisa Uso. Oh, Jessica wants to know if we know any yerba mate cocktails. I don't, but I know they're out there.
Check the latest version of the Mr. Boston guide. I was just
the
60s version of the Mr. Boston.
Galliano
the latest version has been heavily revised with a lot of stuff added. And see if you can find anything about yerba mate.
Mm-hmm.
And do a separate search on yerba mate in cocktails and see what happens. You might want to start with imbibe.com and see what that is, because they will be leading the edge on infusing such things. Yerba is a very specific flavor. It's actually fun to work with.
Chess says Galliano leads to Uso.
Well, Galliano probably is the gateway to all of those anise liquors and Amaro type things.
Starts with Galliano.
And it's just, there's a huge family of these things. At the end of the day, most of them have 27 different herbs and spices, but all taste like licorice. So if you're working with them, you just have to be careful with the amount that you use.
Errol says, thank you. Love this show. Kind of made me feel at home.
Oh.
Love you, Lisa. Oh. Jennifer says, thank you for an educational evening. Well, we try.
Hey, we try to experiment and educate, and we try to be up here in 100% man-made materials and not let you see us sweat.
We try.
I don't know if I succeeded in that. I'm probably sweating. But at the end of the day, I'm really glad that we had Errol and Lisa separately, and that we know it's your day.
I know. Happy anniversary, you guys.
Maybe we got you together on the anniversary. Isn't that awesome? Cool beans.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
So, as always, we choose a completely...
Well, we will be here next Wednesday.
Yeah, we will.
Maybe with another bar guide.
Maybe we'll try the 1978 bar guide. What could possibly happen there?
We'll find a good one.
Yeah, I think they got 7 and 7 in that one.
We'll find a good one.
Anyway.
Uh-oh.
Pardon me.
Just
the hiccups.
He's getting the hiccups.
I guess that's that. That's that for that, folks.
So anyway, thank you for joining us. And we will definitely be back next Wednesday. We've been a little busy working on music lately, but
there will be
vintage recipes will be happening.
Results from that, of course.
Soonish.
As always, we're so thankful you could join us on a Wednesday.
Thank you.
At our time. And stick with us this whole time. We try to provide the entertainment. We're glad if you can actually enjoy this whole time. There's been some great discussion tonight about things that you experienced as youth and things that we all saw that was big fun. Let's just call it big fun. And as always, no matter where you are and what you do, we're glad you can be with us, and we will see you soon.